the Honorable Ssemujju Nganda. Is the Speaker's Pageboy, whose integrity is deeply questionable. Of course, you heard him recently, refusing to sign on a petition. That because the person who was being petitioned against is his friend. I even wonder which law school Lukwago actually went to. I think the law council needs to question, the integrity of the qualifications of Lukwago. Challenged Lukwago here about the letter, the simple note written by Saleh. He shouted on top of his voice and said, "Look, don't go in that direction," because he feared to be exposed. We have been treated to Dikuula Politics by our colleagues in Katonga, which group has been run as a cult. These are fun makers, comedians, and I asked Ingrid, "Are you sure Muntu is a mole?" And she said, without any shade of doubt, he is a mole. Poor man was harassed here. Dr. Beske and his wife came here, harassed Muntu, wanting him to resign. At an appropriate time, we will attend our apology to Muntu.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawugule gagende wakumuluma. Kumi n'asatu.
Era mbyagalira ddala pulezidenti wange
be twasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise.
Parliament is not a platform for business. It's a place where we talk about issues that concern the common person.
Kabaka yazala emi abenyupi ne basakanya. Kabaka yazala mara mtaa, kabaka yazala pinta.
nze ndowooza nti ekibiina kyetaaga kikyetaaga mpuuga.
Basala kunyonyola sente zo zifuna.
Sente nzirinze.
Abamutuufu okukayana ng'awulidde waliwo emiliyoni 5 ezitategeerekeka.
I had never seen them made into beggars. Senior citizen begging on their soldier.
Tugenda kwekalakasa paka uza paka kulia.
2 days ago on plot 6 Katonga Road, our attention has been drawn to the purported National Delegates Conference chaired by our former national chairman, Ambassador Waswa Birigwa, on Monday, 19th August 2024 at Katonga in Kampala, where they purported to dissolve the FDC party under Article 36 of the party constitution. They also resolved to extend the tenure of the purported national leadership of the group, led by a man who is a source of confusion everywhere he goes, Mr. Lukwago. And lastly, they resolved to form a new political party. So our colleagues at Katonga have no locus of dissolving the party. They don't have control over anything in the party. They can only continue in clownish posturing that we see written everywhere in whatever they do. And it's really very surprising that the man that is even made to read the resolutions, Elias Lukwago, to dissolve this party, does not know where we came from. He has no clue whatsoever what it took to form this party, to maintain it above political water. He has no clue whatsoever about the pain that we have endured in sustaining this party, and he comes here making fun about the funeral of the FDC. It is extremely painful for us that Lukwago, who has put nothing, absolutely nothing to this party, is the person who would want to bury this party. And I want to invite our members listening to us in this country and all over the world to look at this critically and to analyze the intention of Lukwago, who has been running from party to party, killing these political organizations. This is also an opportunity for me to reach out to our friends who would like to associate with this kind of group, that they do that at the risk of their political extinction. The other day I heard Dr. Besigye inviting political organizations to work with them so that they may do the same thing that they are trying to do with the FDC. This is a warning I am sounding especially to Luchamus, whose party I understand our friends are going towards. He must be aware of killers of political parties, including Lukwago and Ssemujju. Concerning our colleagues' resolution to form a new political party as per their constitution, we in the leadership of the FDC have no objection with this kind of arrangement. The Constitution of Uganda guarantees the freedom of association, which we respect. And they will not be the first group to start a new party from the FDC fold. The country will appreciate that in 2010, the Honorable Betty Olive Nabisango Kamia Turuomwe, having disagreed with Dr. Kizza Besigye, the Dr. Kizza Besigye administration, broke away from the FDC and formed the Uganda Federal Alliance. She didn't quarrel while living. She didn't set conditions while living. Betty Olive Kamia was a founder member of the FDC. We sat with her at Bonita, even while Dr. Besigye was out of the country in exile, to form the FDC and to endorse Dr. Kizza Besigye as our first president. But she walked out of the FDC. She expressed her issues and went away in peace. Similarly, in 2019, our immediate former party president, Major General retired Gregory Mugisha Muntu, formed the Alliance for National Transformation. Muntu is such a decent man. He came to Najana Nkumbi to hand over office to me. He later came to Najana Nkumbi in my office to inform me that he was carrying out a countrywide consultation. We kept talking to each other in the hope that Muntu and the team that wanted to depart at the time would stay within the fold. He told me There were irreconcilable differences that probably I didn't know about, and it was time for him to leave. He left in peace. And so my expectation from our friends from Katonga would have been for them to do whatever they would have loved to do, including countrywide consultations that they did, and took a decision to live in peace. It is therefore ridiculous that Dr. Kizza Besigye and his team would find it convenient to kill the FDC first before forming another organization. And that is an indictment on them. The Katonga purported National Delegates Conference resolved to extend their term, their so-called interim leadership, led by one Elias Lukwago. We want to observe that in our party constitution, there is no provision for interim leadership. It is ridiculous, foolery, clownish, ultra-vires to assign anybody such a position. We shall treat their resolutions with the contempt that they deserve. We would like to diagnose the underlying problems as follows. Generally, the situation that has happened in Katonga is similar to a neighbor coming to take a decision in a house he doesn't own. Just like attempting to sell land or property he doesn't own. We have been treated to Dikuula Politics by our colleagues in Katonga, which group has been run as a cult. These are fun makers, comedians, who even really talk knowing that the law is not with them. I even wonder which law school Lukwago actually went to. I think the law council needs to question, the integrity of the qualifications of Lukwago. I have seen him trying to argue cases, but you see a man who exercises politics in court, and he thought he would do that with us here. To undermine the authority here, drive their own interests down our throats, using Dr. Kizza Besigye as a prop. We said to them, we will not allow our party to be taken by anybody, no matter his political size or weight. This actually makes me believe that there is a very big fundamental problem with the so-called made in 1986 political group or model. These bush war people who came to this country through the bush, seem to be behaving the same way, who have over time proven to be the same. Everything Ugandans know about Mr. Museveni, Colonel Kizza Besigye seems to be 3 or 2-fold of it. Up to now, as we all know, Mr. Museveni has never dreamt of life outside the presidency, with more ambiguities on the succession plan, which we are really calling on him to begin talking about. It's worse with our brother Colonel Besigye, for as long as he is not the leader of this party, or has a proxy here in Najanankumbi, or any anti-government organization, the country and the entire world has no person that can serve better than him. And this is where the problem is. Underlooking others, undermining others, We have lived with this here in the FDC. We have dealt with this here in the FDC. But by and large, we have marched on unabated. Some of the things that hurt the group in Katonga is the fact that we have managed this FDC party to progress, to prosperity, taken it to the country without them. They never imagined a time when an election would be conducted without them and a certain level of success registered. But we made a statement to them that without Dr. Kizza Besigye, without Lukwago supporting what we're doing here, we still could participate in an election and return results. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate our friends who are committed to the party, who have resisted the confusion caused by our friends in Katonga and stayed steadfast in the activities and support for the party. According to Dr. Besigye, center of this all as a candidate, and my team began to foment this rumor. And I asked Ingrid, are you sure Muntu is a mole? And she said, without any shade of doubt, he is a mole. Poor man was harassed here. Dr. Besigye and his wife, Dr. Winnie Byanyima, came here, harassed Muntu, wanting him to resign. At an appropriate time, we will attend our apology to Muntu on behalf of those people. Now, even me, who succeeded General Muntu, together with the Secretary General, Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafabi, when we refused to serve the interests of Dr. Besigye, when we refused to be his stooges, we branded all sorts of names like sellouts, Engata, Ebikoko, and all other tribes of names that one can ever think of. I can assure you that even in his political, even his current political pegboys will fall out with him should they attempt to be independent-minded. They are this breed of politicians who hate people who have got political independence and reason objectively using their brains. They want to control people. And this is something that we rejected in the FDC. And it has caused some of the problems that we have endured. The world, the country and the world can now see for themselves that the allegation advanced by Dr. Kizza Besigye against the leadership of the FDC were intended to tarnish the Secretary General and myself out of selfish personal considerations. We saw how the team was busy discrediting the leadership of the party, and this group is even more questionable than those they intend to blackmail. Clearly, Dr. Kizza Besigye has surrounded himself with characters of questionable reputation, knowingly, but has kept silent for his own political expedience. We will now examine some of these people without fear of favor. The Honorable Ssemujju and Ibrahim is the Speaker's Pageboy, whose integrity is deeply questionable. He's the only Ugandan who has superseded the record of traveling. I was a member of parliament, and travels do not come that easily. That he has managed to travel for more days than exist in a period of 182 days. And we have evidence to this effect. For him, he traveled out of the country on purported parliamentary duties for 196 days in a year. When we were hunting for corrupt officials at parliament, Ssemujju would have been lined up as a culprit, number one. Certainly it's going to be. Of course, you heard him recently, refusing to sign on a petition. And the reason he gave, it was really very strange. That because the person who was being petitioned against is his friend, he would prefer not to fight corruption. Or that, on a person who is alleged to have been corrupted on account of the person being his friend. And these are people who want to kill FDC and form a new political organization, and they believe that it will appeal to the people of Uganda. I think they are daydreaming. Honorable Francis Mujuki, I really laughed yesterday when I was watching the Morning Breeze, when Mujuki in his stammering manner was questioning the knowledge of the law of a teacher of the law. And I think I want to thank the Honorable Sibambi for his polite demeanor, because he remained polite. It was like looking at this fool, who a teacher of law, teaching in the Law Development Center, in the oldest university in this country, and you go on television to question his credentials, saying all sorts of things about him, and yet there are skeletons in his closet that can be proved. This one's name should actually, we, the Baganda, would call him Somba Bioma. Because whom has he not flinched of money in this country, including those he is hooping with at the party level? I can report he misappropriated a lot of money, but we forgave him. I have received complaints from 56 MPs on account of that kind of theft. This very member, we have privileged information of his active involvement in the Patriotic League of Uganda activities, led by Muhoozi in the Ankole sub-region. In fact, the 2 times he has succeeded to go to parliament, he has either collaborated directly with the NRM or has come, as was recently the case in the election of 2021, come under the protection of the SFC in order to win the election. And Dr. Besigye thinks, in fact, I would like to even inform the public that Dr. Besigye knows all about this, about the involvement of Muijike with the PLU, about his association with Muhoozi, the first son, about his association with the NRM. But he's prepared to turn the other way because Muijike sings his praises. Our sister, Honorable Salam, is known to be a regular visitor of State House. We have also seen her on several occasions escorting Mr. Museveni on foreign trips. We don't understand under what capacity. The same person was bankrolled by the State House with billions of shillings, ostensibly to defeat the then Speaker of Parliament in the Kamuli district woman election race. And I am going to say this with authority, because in a meeting that had senior leaders, including Dr. Besigye, she confessed to this. I'm surprised that Dr. Besigye is looking for people who collaborate with the NRM, and yet just before his nose, there are people who do exactly that. Just recently, on the 26th of January 2024, she was invited and attended as a special guest at the NRM Liberation Day celebration in Buenge Town Council, Jinja District, which was presided by Mr. Museveni. We wonder whether the party that is about to be formed, which Honorable Salam seems to be the spokesperson, she was the master of ceremony in the purported delegates conference, represented on was represented by Salam on the NRM Day, or is an extension of the NRM. Elias Lukwago. There is a popular saying or adage among us Baganda, akasanke kakulema. A person who has failed to run a city wants to run a national grassroots party. Really? Now this one. Who has he ever managed? What has he ever managed in life? Apart from political nomadism, where he's been killing political formations, the DP, Subi, FOC, DJ, wherever he has left those political formations, he has left political turmoil. He attempted to bring political confusion to FDC, and we stepped on his neck on that. I am happy that he found us alert, and we managed to block his political schemes. No wonder his only experience now is in presiding over a stinking city full of potholes and galvanizing political capital out of death, like the recent one of Kitezi, where he is directly politically responsible, but only collects media to cry every day. He collects you people when he wants to shed tears so that he may be seen to be concerned about the plight of the people, so that he may win another election in the city. I hope the people of Kampala this time are alert. And I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the FDC to tender our apology to the people of Kampala for fielding such a person as a candidate of the FDC for the mayoral seat of the largest city in Uganda. By the way, we saw General Saleh threatening to withdraw his support from him. When did sworn members of opposition like Lukwago begin surviving on support from General Saleh, President Museveni's young brother? Isn't this the same that will be transferred to the new party in the offing under the stewardship of Lukwago? We challenged Lukwago here about the letter, the simple note written by Saleh, and he nearly burst his neck. He shouted on top of his voice and said, "Look, don't go in that direction," because he feared to be exposed. I have seen him recently saying he went to court. But he was suing the national newspaper. He wasn't suing Saleh, the author of that letter, and who was the first man to defend Lukwago over this. It was Dr. Kizza Besigye who defended him. Immediately that note came out, the next day he ran to the media to try to convince the country how clean Lukwago is. What's Wabirigwa? And you know that Waswa Wirgwa is known very well, famous for climbing over walls. Without any threat, because he wanted to embarrass the party, he climbed over a wall in Najanangumi. We watched him. I was here. The Besigye, that he had been in meetings with Museveni, cutting deals. And yet, he continues to get praises from our friends in Katonga. You heard them calling him unpogable, unshakable. A man who has openly come out and said, you know, he speaks to Museveni. He's on record.
Omusumba ye n'asaba n'agamba bagawukule gagende wakumuluma 13
era mbyagalire ne president wange
betwasaba bajje batusabire tebakoze eki tebalabise.
Parliament is not a platform for business. It's a place where we talk about issues that concern the common person.
Kabaka yazala yupi ne basakanya. Kabaka yazala mara mtaa, kabaka yazala yupi ntaa.
Nze ndowooza nti ekibiina kyetaaga mpuuga.
Basaala kunnyonnyola abafuna bati sente zo wazifuna.
Sente nzirinze.
Abamutuufu okukayana ng'awulidde waliwo emiliyoni 5 ezitategeerekeka.
I had never seen them made into beggars. Senior citizen begging on the sotia.
Tugenda kwekalakasa paka kuliya.